now what we're going to do is we're going to put together our budget constraints and our indifference curves to talk about the choices that people make. And I want to step back again and remind you one more time that what you choose depends on the combination of two things. First is what you like, and the second one is what is available to you. And it's important to keep these two things separate, these two pieces separate, because what you like doesn't depend on what's available. I like Ferraris better than Fords. And what's available doesn't depend on what I like. I don't have more money because Ferraris are more expensive than Fords. What's available depends on my income and depends on the prices that I face. What I choose depends on both of these things. Depends on what I like, and it depends on the income and prices that I have. So now it's time to put them together and think about the consumer's optimal choice. If we draw an indifference curve and a budget constraint on the same map, we can consider the choice that's facing a consumer. If you look at the graph that we've drawn here, we've got an indifference curve that contains the point M and the point N, and both of those points are also on the budget constraint. What we can say then is M and N are both affordable. But can we say that M and N are the best? And the answer is no. There are some points that are affordable that are less preferred than M and N. Those are the ones that are kind of outside the budget constraint. But all of the points on the budget constraint in between M and N are to the northwest of their indifference curve. They're higher, on a higher indifference curve than M and N. And so those points would be preferred to M and N. What we want to do is get to a higher indifference curve than the one that either bundle M or bundle N is on. If we look at point P is affordable. It's on the consumer's budget constraint, and it's also on an indifference curve that's higher than our original indifference curve. And there are no other points that are affordable, that is, that we can afford, that are also equally preferred or more preferred to P. Everything above P's indifference curve is outside of our budget set, is not affordable. And so we can see from this graph that the bundle P represents the consumer's optimum. And this occurs at a combination of 4 slices of pizza and 4 pops, as we read off the horizontal and vertical axes. What can we say about point P? The first one we can say is that that's the highest indifference curve we can get to. That's the highest attainable indifference curve that we can reach. And at point P, the budget constraint is tangent to the indifference curve. It has the same slope. The intuition here is that at the point P, what you're willing to trade, the slope of the indifference curve, is equal to what you have to trade, the slope of the budget constraint, which is determined by the relative prices. And so what it says is that there are no mutually advantageous trades that you can make. There's no trades that you can make that would leave you better off that are also available to you at current market prices. So what happens when the price changes? What happens if the price of pizza goes from $1 to $2? Well, as we showed before, this leads to an inward rotation in the budget constraint and a new optimum. In this case, the new optimum occurs at point L, which is a quantity of 3 slices of pizza and 2 pops. So we go from point K to point L, and we can from here derive a demand schedule. We can look at the different optimal choices and observe the price of pizza in both instances and see that when the price of pizza rose from $2 to from $1 to $2, our consumption fell from 4 units of pizza to 3 units of pizza. So looking at the table on the left, we have our demand curve. At $1 we buy 4 slices. At $2 we buy 3 slices. And this tells us the behavior of the consumers in response to the changing price level of pizza. What happens when our income changes? Well, when our income changes, in this case, we begin at point H, our original optimal bundle, and when our income rises, we move outward to point G. We can reach a higher indifference curve. The way that we've drawn this here, we can see that pizza is a normal good. When our income rose from $8 to $10, we consumed more pizza. At higher income, we consumed more pizza. In this case, we increased our consumption from 4 slices to 5. But what about a different good, perhaps, like macaroni and cheese, which is a good we might think of as an inferior good? As we're wealthier, we might choose to consume less of it, switch from macaroni and cheese to something else, like pasta or pizza. So in this case, the way we've drawn the picture, we started bundle V, which is 4 boxes of mac and cheese and 4 pops a week. We raise our income, but we see that the consumption of mac and cheese actually falls at the higher income. We move from 4 and 4 to 3 and 7. Our new optimum then is at point W. When our income rises from 8 to 10, our consumption falls from 4 to 3. This is an inferior good.